Hi and welcome back to Warrior Gardening. Last week we did an experiment where we took an underperforming Bradley tomato, and put it into a 5-gallon bucket. Stay tuned, I'll do an episode on that so we can follow up on the progress that we've made there. I had to jump in and do this video because Mother's Day just passed and my mother-in-law gave me a gift. It was knockout roses, and that's wonderful. We have wanted knockout roses for a while, but the plants are just expensive. If you get a 1.5, 2-gallon container from a place like Lowe's or Home Depot, you're gonna spend at least $20 on it. We're gonna show you how to clone them for free. Come along. Okay, so here we are. So I've got 3 cuttings here. I went ahead and sheared off the first one, but I want to show you guys how this works. So let's do it. So you want to make sure that you get uh, a stem that's going to have some leaves on it. This bloom, they just bloom at this time of the year, so that's not necessary at all. Okay, and you see how long it is? I'm going to take these smaller leaves off towards the bottom. And go ahead and do that, and then I'll explain what we're going to do. So I use this shear so I can get a nice clean cut. If you'll notice, if you've ever peeled off a stem, it likes to hang onto the plant and will strip down the side, and you're opening the plant up to all kinds of bad juju. Okay, today, like I said in the last video, I'm all about experimenting. So I've never done this before with a rose. I'm going to try it 2 different ways. Hydroponically, with distilled water. If you do not have distilled water, I've heard that you can leave the water out for 24 hours and at least the chlorine will evaporate. And I've got a mixture here. This is a heavy mixture of topsoil with about half and half vermiculite and peat moss. And in my last video, I wanted to clarify, I prefer to use coconut coir. That is a replenishable resource, unlike peat moss. So if you can, try to get your hands on it. You may have to buy it online, but like everything that you buy online, it'll be less expensive anyway. So, okay, I've got a jar of cinnamon and a jar of honey. The cinnamon is supposed to act like a fungicide of sorts, and the honey will coat it and keep moisture inside. It helps root. It's almost treated as a rooting hormone. The reason I'm using these 2 is because they are in almost every pantry. So if you've got some mason jars or cups and water, and if you've got, if you can create a mixture or even just try in dirt just for the purpose of sprouting a root system, then just go in your cabinet and see if you've got some cinnamon and some honey. In fact, the cinnamon is not exactly necessary, but why not? We've got it. Okay, when you take your cutting, you want to make sure that you get a 45-degree angle cut. I do this right above where the leaf was. So if you do it right above the leaf, then you'll be good to go. All right. So a lot of people leave the roses on. I don't believe that knockout roses have much of a smell, so there's no real need to for us. So I'm going to go ahead and clip this off. It doesn't really matter what angle the top is cut off on, but like always, try to make it clean. And literally, that's all there is to it. Now, of course, I'm going to do an update video so we can check on the progress. I'll tell you how long it took for these to sprout, if they sprout at all. Like I said, it's the first time I've done that. Okay, now we'll do the same thing with the following 2 cuttings. I've already got my 45-degree angle down here, but I want to make a sharp cut at the bottom ring of leaves. You just don't need them. I'm going to try to plant it to about here, 3.5, 4 inches. Okay, I'll go ahead and cut this off. I'm going to cut this off too because we're not going to need it. And I'm just going to dip. I've left it in water, so this should coat it. Knock off the excess. That looks about right. Okay. And then I'm going to stick it as far as I can down in the jar and get a nice coating of honey. Alright. I usually take a number 2 pencil or mechanical pencil right in the middle, give myself a hole. These stems are so strong that you could just shove them in there, but since I've coated it, I want to be able to give it a little room. Okay, I'm going to pat the edges, no real need to pack anything down. We just want this thing to root. Okay. Uno. And since you know the steps, I'll just work right on through it. I cut those right down to the stem because we just don't need it to worry about giving nutrients to that portion. Okay. That's a pretty good one. Well, let's do our dip. Our tap it a little bit. And then right into the honey. All the way down. Pull it out. Okay. Make our hole. And insert the stem. Okay. That's all there is to it. We're going to water these pots and keep them watered until we start to see new growth. All right. Thanks a lot. Come back next time.